I'm just going to tell you my life's journey in very simple words, and which may not leave you inspired, but will help you survive this life. And if you can do that, kids, if you can survive, happiness, creativity, and success will follow on its own. Sometimes our success is not the direct result of actions, and let nobody tell you that. Success sometimes just happens. Really. Never become cynical about yourself or your life. Becoming cynical about your life is the single most destructive thing you can do. And as for my destination, I don't think I ever knew one. I walk, I run in the direction of my dreams. Things change along the way, people change, I change, the world changes, and even my dreams change. I don't have a place to arrive. I just keep doing what I know how to do the best that I can do it. If you want to survive life, it's best to begin to respect the gift of love right now. But you have to believe that you create only because this is the biggest gift you have to give to your world. And maybe that's why we even call God a creator. There's only one thing you can do to survive. Hang on to who you are inside. The world will be unkind to you. It will not be able to see you. You must learn at such times to be able to see yourself.
Oh, am I? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, hello everyone again. I've discovered that if I ever become a movie star, you can't see a thing up here.
You can't?
Yeah, no, not a thing. So my name is Jeff Brenzel. I'm the Dean of Admissions here at Yale. These are my people. I'm the master of Timothy Dwight College. I lecture in the Department of Philosophy, and I keep the flame for the Chubb Fellowship, which I'm incredibly happy to say has brought SRK to New Haven. So I just want to tell him right now in front of God and everybody here that I think his chances for admission here to Yale would be pretty good. And we're hoping he's going to have time to drop by the office to fill out the application before he leaves. So here with me to ask a few questions is Nikhil Sood, who was born and brought up in New Delhi, India, and attended St. Columba's School, which was SRK school. He then came to Yale, where he received his bachelor's in economics in 2010. Economics, just like SRK. It gets more eerie as you go. While at Yale, actually he departed from Shahruk's career, and he founded Yale Hindi Debate, a national level competition in the United States that takes place entirely in the Hindi language, and it's now in its 5th year. He's currently a student at the Yale Law School. We're going for a dual language country here sooner or later. While he hasn't yet charted out his career plans, he did tell me that he's got one goal: to get Mr. Shahrukh Khan to follow him on Twitter. No. Not yet. He hasn't achieved this goal yet. Then we have Sarika Arya, who graduated from Yale College in 2011 with a double major in ethics, politics, and economics, and also theater studies. Her parents emigrated from India to America, where she and her brother were born and raised until they moved to London for several years. While here at Yale, Sarika studied international affairs, human rights activism, and the use of theater to impact social change. She's currently working as a Woodbridge Hall Fellow at the Yale Office of International Affairs. Next year, she's off to London School of Economics. So please welcome the guests.
Well done, both of you.
We had some questions. Everyone had their own particular question that they wanted to ask Shahrukh, and we're going to start with Nikhil.
Hello, Mr. Khan. I felt you spoke really, truly inspiringly about valuing creativity and about facing your fears. My concern is I feel there are many students out there who are passionate about creativity and are also generally brave people who can face their fears. But in spite of this, they choose safer, more traditional, non-creative paths in life because they feel the creative path is simply too risky, no matter how brave they are. And even though they love creativity for its own sake, not for bartering it for money, they feel they'd still need to be able to pay the bills, and that might not happen. So for a person who is devoted to the arts, but due to certain practical realities of the world, selects a non-creative path, Is it possible for such a person to lead a truly happy, fulfilling life? On a personal note, I'm really worried because I'm a huge fan of creative writing. And I did a lot of that in school and at college, but now I've chosen law school. And I console myself by saying, so what if you're not writing movies or TV shows? You'll still be writing legal briefs and legal memos. And I think, while on some level that makes sense, I think it's an extremely depressing thought. And I do feel like somebody's stepping on my oxygen tube, but I fear that the alternative might feel like somebody simply cut off my oxygen tube because I won't be able to pay my bills. So my question really is, and I ask this on behalf of everyone like me, can I be happy? And if so, how?
An easy one.
An easy one, yeah. Nigga, let me tell you, you've got problems, dude.
I know.
I mean, but I tell you how I've done it. I did theater, and I truly believe in being very creative, very artistic, and a very serious actor at times. I really do. When I see a lot of work that is being done around by other actors in my own country and outside, I feel envious at times that I've not been able to do that. Because, like you said, when I came on to Mumbai, and I would say this to all the kids, that yes, surviving is the most, that's what the whole speech was, that I'll teach you how to survive. I'm not going to give you any thoughts about that, listen, it's all right to, go on top of Himalayas and do your writing, creative writing, whether anyone reads it or not. No, it's important that people read it. It's important it becomes a bestseller. As a matter of fact, I very shamelessly say I am the most capitalist human being that you will ever find on the face of this earth. I truly believe that you need to find a place where you can make the choices that you want to make. You cannot just say, I had a friend who was a creative writer, and who fortunately still is not a lawyer. And he wanted to write books. And he's working here in America, New York actually, Benny. And he asked me one day, his father died, and he said, I want to write books. I want to write creative stuff on spirituality and goodness, and I don't want to write anything else. How am I going to survive? My father's dead, my mother's not being able to look after me. And I said, you go down and, start working in an advertising company, where he started writing. I do remember, this is a joke we had in college. I don't know if it is still here. It was an innerwear ad, with a like a Calvin Klein underwear model, and you write, it's for everyone, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And so, you say if you have to write this stuff, you write it, and earn the money, pay your bills. Don't let them cut your oxygen tube out. But after you are in that position of choice, don't misuse it. And that's the one thing that I decided to do. I do a lot of advertising. A lot of people question me on the uncreative bits of work that I do. I think out of 10 things that I do, I think 7 of them are highly uncreative, and very disturbing at times. I have a big bathroom now. I sit there and cry after having done those things. Yeah, I genuinely do, I'm not lying. I want kids to know this, that yeah, I do that. I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I take the money from that, and I would like to be able to create a production house, a filmmaking institution, which would do the creative stuff which I wanted to do when I was 25. It may get a little late. It may happen when I'm 50 or 55. It may not have happened when I dreamed of it at 26, 27. But I'm sure that I will make the right choices. So please, all you kids, do not get waylaid by anyone who tells you it's wonderful to be creative and poor and hungry. No. You can't be that. You have to survive. You owe it to your parents. You owe it to your life. Be well, have good cars, have a good television, have 3 PlayStations if you need. But when you get into that position of choice, make sure you don't cheat with your choices. So that's one thing. So do your legal briefs. And on the side, when you have become this really famous, wonderful lawyer, saving convicts and and criminals, go into that bathroom, cry a bit that you saved another criminal today, but with the money that you earn from that mafia don, write a good
All right, SRK.
All right. So India is a country of hundreds of languages, cultures, religions, customs, and so on. And as a result, the country grapples with divisiveness on many social issues. But your films have created a truly devoted and united fan base that's united in their love of you, Shah Rukh Khan. And they're They're united across ethnic and national boundaries, even outside of India. Yet at the same time, some of your films do deal with social issues. So, My Name is Khan, it confronted racial profiling after 9/11, and Chak De India discussed bigotry and sexism.
Those are the stories that I write.
There you go. But at the same time, you also do have films that are sheer entertainment. So what is it about your work that appeals to and unites audiences that are normally at odds with each other? And also, do you feel that films have, or maybe they already have, a role in discussing or examining social issues?
I think they have, but if they make it their prime concern, then they don't remain film. They don't remain entertainment. I say this to everyone. It's a little saying that, messages are for the post offices. They're not for entertainment. You don't give messages through entertainment. I'm a big believer of that. You need to entertain people, 2.5 hours in a dark room. Come back, have fun, enjoy yourself. And entertainment can be sad, it can be morbid, it can be bright, it can be colorful, it can be as silly as some of the films that I do. But I truly believe that the reason I think I was analyzing it, I keep analyzing it because everyone keeps asking me, how did this happen that people everywhere like you? And I cannot go beyond the answer that it has to do with my dimples. I've never, it's the most intellectual answer I've been able to give myself.
I understand.
Yeah,
I
yeah. And you see how far you go with these dimples.
I'll keep you posted.
But I think the reason that my cinema or the kind of films, I think I got a little fortunate that in the 90s when I started working, there was a time when 80s was the time of, a lot of aggressive films and ugly bell bottoms and big collars and strange hairstyles in Indian cinema. And somehow, the younger generation, which was kind of me also that time, I was 24, 23, they all wanted to have a little more love amidst them. Not anti-establishment work, not anti-social work. They just wanted to have feeling of love. And I think I did a lot of films like that. So whether it was Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge or Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. And I think as cliched as it may sound, but it makes me believe that love really is the universal language, So you can be in a country with 100 different languages, as you stated, and I come down to Yale, to America, to London, I go to South America, and people in Germany who don't speak our language at all. And they all seem to like that cinema. I asked one lady, a 60-year-old lady who actually took the first Indian film to Germany. She used to work for a big television studio, and I asked her. So I was sitting with her at night, and I said, why do you want to do Hindi? Why do you guys like Hindi films? I go and shoot in Germany, and there are like hundreds of Germans who love our films. Yeah. And they don't speak Hindi at all. They just say, Achtung, Achtung, Achtung. No Hindi at all. Nothing, They make these guttural sounds, but they don't speak Hindi. And they look very imposing because from the outside, we all have preset notions of each country and country people from there. And I asked them, I said, why do you like Hindi films? Why do you like this kind of cinema? So they told me that I have a button to drive a car. I put on a button and the car starts. I have a button to make coffee. I have a button to go up and down. In Germany, we didn't have a button to cry. And you give us that button. Your films give us that button. And I think, and so I equate these two things. I think love, as beautiful as it is, also makes you cry. And in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. But I think the togetherness of this, I think the whole human community around the world, you will find two universal truths. They all love and they all cry. And I think if your work, if your writing, if your job can deal with that, without knowing it, you will be bringing social changes. You don't need to make an attempt. I think you just need to say the truth and say, this is a little about love. For a father-son, for a father-daughter, for a man-woman, for a mother-son, for a teacher-student, it's a little about crying. And when you write stories like that, or show stories like that, or incidents like that, I think it just unites us because we all do go into that bathroom and cry. So we all have that bathroom, and I think we all feel like loving. So I think if you keep it as simple as loving and crying, each cinema, each theater, everything will have its social impact.
Thank you.
The man who gave the Germans permission to cry. A life. That's fantastic. Shrika, honestly, if it weren't for my good friends here among so many South Asian students and faculty here at Yale, I wouldn't know your films. South Asian Film Society has been spreading the gospel here. A lot of people are becoming attracted to this cinema. But of course, I came not as these two students, but as an outsider, to Indian cinema. I'd heard of something called Bollywood, and I fell into the trap that many of us do of thinking that actually meant something, that it was in some kind of relation to Hollywood. And then when I first started watching the films, I realized there's no Hollywood takeoff here. That's not what's going on. The films were like nothing I'd ever seen. They had their own language, they had their own world, they had their own way of seeing things. Mostly, I have to say, this incredible enthusiasm for life. They were fantastically original, which was just a startling experience. I didn't know of the existence of this world. So I wanted to ask you, what do you see happening as Bollywood, as Indian film, as Indian cinema? You're always doing something new. But that influence is expanding. It's moving out into the world in some very remarkable ways. Is Indian movie making influencing Western movie making? Is Western movie making creeping into to Indian cinema? Are these ships passing in the night? Are they talking to each other? I'm dying to know what you think about this.
Yeah, I think, our cinema is very unique. And I remember hearing Quentin Tarantino at Cannes, and he said the only reason, and I just want to point out, it's the only film industry in the world which has survived Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah, all the film industries, whether it's Japan or any place in Europe,
yes,
the local cinema kind of has been taken over by the more popular, commercial, wonderful Hollywood cinema that is made. I'm a big fan. India has survived that. We still make the largest number of films, and the reason for that is that we still believe in stars. We believe that there are people who can lead us. We don't think a movie star is just a professional. We look up to him or her. We think of him or her as role models. I'm the wrong one. Don't ever do that. I've been hiding in the gully and smoking and stuff like that. I'm a bad boy. Yeah. But the whole system of looking up to someone or trying to find a hero has made Indian cinema survive. Having said that, our stories are very unique, very culturally based, and of course we have this uniqueness of what used to happen in the 60s in Hollywood. We are musicals. Yeah. We break into a song and dance anytime. So yeah, he was saying it so kindly, Remember, he was being so wonderful, and he said, I was startled by them. It's bloody shocking.
I was.
What we do on screen, yeah, I know. It's like, why are they dancing? Yeah, so we do that, and actually, our films are like a variety show, a cabaret. Yeah. Because, like she said, we have 100 languages. We still live in one family households. So the grandmom's there, the grandchild is there, the great-grandchild is there. And all of us watching cinema is the only escapist route we have in our country. We don't have skiing slopes, we don't have car racing, we've got a little bit of sports coming in, our television just started. So what happens is you need to have that area where you want to say, listen, I'm not bothered about life. For these 2.5 hours, I'm going to be overawed by this fun. And the grandmom says, I want to hear actually something spiritual. So we put spiritual. And she says, I want to see this cool guy with dimples dancing. It's okay, cool guy. Yeah? And you say, I need to be startled. So here, startling you. So we put everything in it, and unabashedly so, and happily so, and celebrate life, because life, I think, has all of it put in, life has never been that you don't sing. You sing while shaving, and you have a fight, and there's no isolation of emotions in real life. Everything is happening together. And it's wonderful when I see Western cinema that it isolates emotion. It's more linear. There's more storytelling. There's more character-driven stuff. But I think our cinema, because it is just celebration and celebrative, it makes you feel a little attracted to it. You say, okay, let it be now. I'm just going to sit down and watch this and have fun. A lot of technology from Hollywood, people like myself, and the younger actors and directors want to take it on, because I think technically the Western cinema is about 40 to 50 years ahead of us, and we need to bring it to India. That's the only way we will be able to come up in the international market. We are about 0.02% of world market as far as economics go. We make the maximum number of films, but in terms of economics, we are very small. The only way we can do that is not change the language of our films, the technology and the technique of storytelling. You know, we do it in, we do films in 3 acts. We have an interval. You know, I have to tell you this incident. I made a film called Ashoka, which was about Gautam Buddha and Ashok. It was a great film, I thought. And unfortunately, sorry to have to mention it here, it released on 9/11, so it kind of tanked, didn't do well. And I was showing it to an English set of audience just before I came here. And the film went on, and it's really long. We make 3-hour-long films, you know. And so before they all entered, so I had all these British people saying, "Why do you guys have intervals? What does it mean? Why should we have to break into, you know, it breaks the whole sequencing of a storytelling." So I said, "I'm sorry, but we have an interval." After 1.5 hours, they were like holding my hand. "Why don't you guys have the interval now?" So our cinema looks after everybody's wants and desires as and when they crop up. But we... But yeah, there is a whole mix together. I think technically, if we do better, we'll have more world cinema audience watching it. And story-wise, I think our stories are about hope and simple hopes. You know, and they're not too outlandish, though it seems so sometimes. Everyone tells me Indian cinema is unrealistic, but it's as realistic as the President of the United States sitting in Air Force One and going and destroying a meteor. And we say, "Oh, wow. Yeah, it can happen." But ours are as unrealistic. And I think the stories should remain culturally bound in terms of the simple hopes and simple ideologies, while the technology, I think we should start taking, and we are already from Hollywood. A lot of studios have now opened up in India, and there's this huge give and take, and it's fantastic for world cinema, I think. And I'm here in America, and I'm not doing it because I'm here, but I genuinely want to thank all the studios in Hollywood, because I've been interacting with them in the last 5-6 years. My Name is Khan was actually made by Fox, and they were kind enough to release it, as we would really like it to be shown to everyone. So there's this huge synergies that are happening, and I think, Indian cinema is really gaining from it, and hopefully one day you'll not be so startled by our films.
So just some advice for my fellow white people who are not Germans in the audience, because I know that you haven't watched enough of these films. This is something to go home now and do, and I hope it inspires you that you've heard a little bit about it. You will want to relax. You'll want to have a very comfortable couch. You'll want to be surrounded by some nice food and some family and friends. And a grandmom. Grandmom should come visit while you watch Indian films. Nikhil, another question?
Okay, so, you know, you've achieved so much in so many different fields. You're a globally successful and adored actor and producer. You own a cricket team. You're a philanthropist. And I think you're a real role model for all of us. My question is, what next? And I know that you maintain that you always want to keep making people smile. But is there a specific kind of film or project that you really want to do and haven't yet done? I suppose what I'm asking is, what is the biggest, most exciting, most motivating thing on your to-do list, if you have one?
No, Nikhil, I'm sorry, I've been just very, like I said in the beginning, that I just work towards my dreams and just keep running. I don't know where I'm going to stop, and things happen along the way. I started wanting to be a soccer player. I did economics, I did mass communications, my master's in that. And everyone thought I'll do something intelligent, but I became an actor. And I came to Mumbai for a year because my parents died. I told my wife, I said, you know, we just go for a year, come back. I told all my friends that, you know, I'll be back in a year because they kicked me out of there. It's 21 years, and I'm still there. So things just happen, and I realized the core is really, and my job, and as an entertainer, and people may look down upon it at times, people may be happy with it, some people may not appreciate it, but my bottom line is, whatever it takes for me to do to make you feel happy. So if you want me to say a dialogue, I'll do it. You want me to take off my pants and dance, I'll do it. See, as long as I'm being very honest. You know, I can turn around and give you a big spiel about what next and the kind of stuff that I want to do, take cinema to the next, you know, stretch the boundaries and extend the reach of Indian cinema to global recognition. But no, I just want to make you smile. So if you tell me, I have this huge dignity of labor thing in me, that whatever I do, you know, I've done street theater, and I've done big films like Ravan. It was a dream to bring visual effects into the country. My kids wanted to see a superhero film. And so I do all that. And I never think of the business behind it, to be honest. And whenever I come, wherever I go, whichever place I'm in, if people tell me, listen, Shahrukh, can you say a line from this film? And I say, yeah, if that makes you happy. If somebody tells me, can you just get out of this party, that'll make me very happy. I say, yeah, get out of the party. So I don't have, yeah, I want to make a studio. I want to make a stadium. I want to make my cricket team win. I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of dreams, and but through all this, I hope I'm able to make people smile doing that. You know, even while I lose with the cricket team, I hope people smile a lot while I'm losing. So that's the only thing. And I think if you keep it basic and simple, that's the best way. I think that's so yeah. I know. I want to make an animation film. I want to remain young, to be able to romance with my son's girlfriend. I've got some stupid ideas too, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, SRK, one more quickly.
All right. So your appeal is universal, and it inspires astounding devotion. In fact, many of the audience members here today have traveled far distances to see you for this short appearance. And also, we'd love to thank you for traveling halfway around the world to see just us.
Thank you.
So you talked a little bit about this fan base that you have among the Germans, and I heard it's also in Poland, so maybe you could talk a little bit about what's up with that. And then I also know that you evoke a frenzy that some people would go so far as to describe as religious. And I was wondering, how do you feel about that, and how does it affect your mission to create honest art? And do you think it's sustainable? I mean, if all of this ends, how do you think you'll come to terms with just being your honest self, just being human?
I shoot myself.
No, I hope not.
Okay, so it's not ending then.
I truly believe, I'd be very honest, I didn't know how it started. I truly believe this is never ending. And when you say this, that, you know, you have these people in Poland, and you have in Germany, in Japan, in Malaysia, Southeast Asia. You know, I have woken up, I was shooting a film called One Tuka 4 many years ago in Indonesia, in Malaysia. And, you know, I was very tired. And I went down to the small little house, and I slept on the chair. And when I woke up, I had this 40 family members sitting. And they were all looking at me like this. So I got up, and I was very awkward because, you know, I woke up in some unknown person's house. And when I sleep, when anyone sleeps, you don't look too good. I don't know. You know.
No, something like that.
Yeah, it looks very, very, very un-rock star-like. You know, so I was this thing, and they had their hands like this. They had a little temple with my picture in their house. Yeah, and I was really taken aback that the stuff that I do, which is mostly monkeying around, falling down, singing, just having fun for 8 or 10 hours a day on my sets, actually invokes this kind of reaction. And the first thing I realized, what you asked me, is that the one thing I will never ever do is take myself seriously. I will never try to intellectualize what I do. I would like to be as silly as I was when I was 4. I would like to do exactly the same thing that I did 20 years ago, because when I go back 20 years ago, there's a new set of audience which is as silly and comes and appreciates it. Right? So you have to keep on doing that. I've never tried to take myself more seriously. Like I was reading it here when they were showing that I've got 100 awards, or been nominated for so many. I've got the Padma Shri, and I have this wonderful fellowship. But I am not going to ever become more serious or intellectual because I have all this. I'm going to do exactly the same stuff. I'm going to have fun, and that's why I believe it'll never end. It'll never end, because the day I start intellectualizing and taking myself seriously, my art seriously, and what you asked me just now, that, you know, how are you going to make sure that your art is serious and honest? I think it's going to be honest as long as I'm silly and stupid and childlike and innocent and naive and an idiot. As soon as I become an intellectual and I become serious about this stuff, I think I'm going to lose it. I'm going to be, sitting somewhere in some big hall giving a lecture about how art should be the most important thing. I don't want to do that. I just want to keep on being stupid. That's it. I think to all your kids, please, just be silly and idiotic.
I can live with that.
So, speaking of which, you've been sitting around for a long time. You had a long plane ride to get here. You feel like moving around a little bit? Yeah. So,
can I have a mic? Because you know what? Because he's not been introduced to Hindi cinema properly. I'm going to make him say a few dialogues. No, I want to handle one if I.
Can we have a mic? Can we just have just any mic? Because he's got sound. We just need a mic.
Do you want a fake?
Any mic.
No, it's okay. Don't tell him to do that. It's not. I'm telling you to be silly. Don't be that silly.
I've made that mistake. All right. There is no.
Okay.
There is no
I'm
mic.
gonna
We got a mic here.
Because he's
Microphone.
watching. Oh yeah, thank you.
Oh, we've got a microphone. There we go.
So because he's been introduced to Indian cinema, I'm going to teach him. I'm going to teach him some of the Indian dialogues that I've done from some of my films. Because so you have to say it after me, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to teach you a bit of Hindi. So the next time you watch a Hindi film, you'll understand it a little better.
I do speak German.
Oh yeah, okay. Achtung. All right, so I do a dialogue from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai? Don, okay, I do Don. Don is a film I played a bad guy in. So they're saying you should do it from Don, okay?
Am I a bad guy or
You're the bad guy.
I'm another bad guy. Okay.
So we need to just stand here. That's I'm going to use that in my next film when I'm playing a bad guy. That's cool, yeah. Okay, so say
We do it together.
डॉन का इंतजार तो 11 मुल्कों की पुलिस कर रही है सोनिया. Too long?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to do the dialogue. I'll do the actions. You just do the actions with me, okay?
Okay.
All right. And just keep moving your mouth so it'll look like you're speaking.
Okay.
Right, sir.
I can do that.
Dawn ka intezar. They love you. Dawn ka intezar to 11 मुल्कों की पुलिस कर रही है सोनिया. लेकिन डॉन को पकड़ना मुश्किल ही नहीं, नामुमकिन. That's a makeshift gun.
I see.
Do you think was he cool being down on our tummy? Okay, and I'm gonna request him because okay. See, that's how Hindi films are. They make you silly in a second. All right, so I'm gonna request everyone. You guys also come on stage. I'll do a little chamak chalo for you guys. I can even dance. You'll also have to do it with us.
We have Yale's best dancer, Natalia Kozla.
Okay.
Let's do a little background dance. Let's do a little background dance.
Girl, you're my chamak chalo. Where you go, girl, I'm gonna follow. But you know, girl, just let me know. You can be my chamak chalo. Shawty, I'm down to get ya. चमक चमक चलो कैसा समारा आजा बच्चे को बिठाओ आ मेरी हो रे आजा थारी दादी यारो आ मेरी अखियों से अखियों मिला रे I wanna let you down wanna be my चमक चलो wanna be my चमक चलो wanna be my चमक चलो wanna be my चमक चलो
Goodbye, everyone.
wanna be my चमक चलो
Thank you everyone. Once again, guys, thank you very much.
my चमक चलो
Thank you, Nita.
wanna be my चमक
Before I go, I really want to thank all of you for genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. This is the most fun I've had in the last 2-3 months. Yeah. So, thank you, Nita. Thank you, Isha. And all you wonderful people for coming here. I'm being so patient. And I feel with all, because they told me this is a serious evening, so I've really been intellectually stimulated by this dance. I hope you guys have also been, and I'm so glad you take little children into Yale also. And but thank you so much. I can't thank you all enough for your kindness and goodness. God bless you. And you do well. Thank you. Do not get waylaid by anyone who tells you it's wonderful to be creative and poor and hungry. No. You can't be that. You have to survive. You owe it to your parents. You owe it to your life. Be well, have good cars, have a good television, have 3 PlayStations if you need. But when you get into that position of choice, make sure you don't cheat with your choices. I personally have one response to failure: pragmatism. A recognition and belief that if one approach does not work, then the other will or might. Failure also gives me an incentive to greater exertion, harder work, which invariably leads to later success in most cases. So remember, all boys and girls, that you're fortunate enough to be funambulists. You have an amazing set of punching bags. Your parents cherish them always. And failure is your fiendish friend. Keep him close. And as my son sent a message, don't take no shit from anybody.